All right, guys, welcome back into Above Ground World News. We are live. Welcome in. Here we are. We made it to Sunday somehow. The 16-day forecast. Hang on here. All right, sorry about that. Had to cough again. I think I'm getting better, but I don't know. We got all this stuff coming in. So many crazy things, man. We've had some crazy weather today. Let me get this over
The Navy
here.
Warfare Development Command tested a new anti-ship missile defense system June 21st through 25th.
That's not what I wanted. Anyway, we've had hail reports in Aurora, Nebraska, 2.75-inch hailstones. Claflin, Kansas, 2.50-inch hailstones. Same thing for Stockham, Nebraska. 1 3/4 inch for Lubbock, Texas, and Fort Stockton, Texas. Also, we had 105-mile-an-hour wind gust in Pleasant Dale, Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska, 87 mile an hour. Denton, Nebraska, 70 miles an hour. Hall over Florida, 67 miles an hour. And same with Titus, Florida, 65 miles an hour. And to the tornado reports today, we've had them in Howell, Kansas, Malcolm, Nebraska, Taoka, Texas, Misler, Kansas, and Raymond, Kansas. So it's been a eventful today. Anyway, we're going to get into this, and I'm telling you, man, when we go back and we looked at all the aerosols being deployed and all the bunker fuel, this is what happens. Anyway, let me let's take a look here at the current watches and warnings. Let's let this go ahead and go through, and we'll see them pop up as they come. Here I can turn the radar NEXRADs off just so we can see all the severe thunderstorms, all the tornado warnings going off. So as of right now, let's get this to up to the current minute. So right now we have 2 tornado warnings in Kansas. Looks like around the Wichita area or somewhere down in there, and then also in Texas. So mega strong storms. Looks like we had a few up in Nebraska just a little while ago. And at the same time, we got severe weather down in Florida too. No tornadoes as of yet. Let's go ahead and put the NEXRADs back on here. We got a lot of things to look at on that here in a little while, but today's a 16-day forecast. Let's go ahead and take a quick play of this. And what we can see is all them aerosols. They usually spray out a day or two before the storm. Now, we had mass spraying operations over here yesterday. This is today. They had a new spraying operation. Let me slow this down. And what you'll notice right down here, this whole section, all these aerosols, as soon as they get to the certain point right here, that's exactly where every one of these powerful thunderstorms popped off. You notice these are all the aerosols. These are all the aerosols. And then yesterday, they just completely, filled the sky up. What's really crazy is these storms right here, they're not spraying out in front of them. So they must have wanted these things to be really powerful. They didn't want to block the sun. They wanted the ground to heat up so that they could really induce some strong storms. I've seen this before. I see it all the time. And the other thing, there's still a giant ship track operation out here in the Pacific. In fact, it's even looking worse. All these long straight lines in the yellows and orange, these are a military based ship track. This is for weather control. Also a big spraying operation over Idaho, right there over Southern California, down in San Diego. We could go back to yesterday, and they were all pretty far up north. I mean, they've been spraying out here for days. We had the crazy anomaly back here on the 3rd, but here's where they are right now. Straight across from San Jose, California, all the way up to the border of Oregon and Kansas. It's never a good thing when we see these guys out here. And let me play this little quick thing here, just so you know, they make clouds with ships, the military does. Check this out.
The Navy Warfare Development Command tested a new anti-ship missile defense system June 21st through 25th. Pandora Fog consists of shipboard radar-absorbing carbon fiber clouds tested under a variety of at-sea conditions using assets from the U.S. Army, Navy, and Air Force. These man-made clouds are part of a layered defense and are capable of preventing a missile from detecting and striking its target.
Yeah, right. What kind of missile are they talking about? There is no missiles going to be launched out here. This is a weather control program, just like we show nightly. We show the companies that do it. But like I said, tonight's the 16-day forecast. Let's go ahead and jump into that. I didn't even pull up no headlines. If we get time, we'll go over a few headlines later. But all right, we're going to start out tonight with the GFS model. And we're going to go on up 16 days. We're going to go 6 hours at a time. And you need to mark down the crucial dates in your area because this is the weather plan. It doesn't change. So here we go. 12 hours from now, Monday, May 6th, more powerful storms are going to be firing off right there in Texas, all the way up into Oklahoma, up into Kansas. We'll take this up just 6 hours at a time. You know, the regular rain, we're not going to worry about too much, but once we start seeing the super heavy rains, this is Tuesday, May 7th for the border of Kansas and Missouri. And look at this, it's going to fire right on back. All them aerosols we're seeing today, that's for this storm right here. So this is going to be a pretty good swath right through central Missouri, southern Kansas, southeastern Kansas, and the same spot in Texas as today. Take this up another 6 hours, heavy rain, floods are going to be going on everywhere. We get into Wednesday, right there on the little panhandle there of Oklahoma, Texas, and parts of Kansas on Wednesday, May 8th. And it's going to really fire up. You know, the air should be stabilized by now, but it won't be because they'll be cooking the sky. Anyway, Kansas, heads up for May 8th because it's going to really fire up right there. And as we track it forward, it's just going to go almost straight east to northeast. And it looks like it's going to split off into a couple sections. And don't think this stuff up here in Nebraska isn't going to be strong. It's definitely going to be strong. You can see by the tighter bars, this is going to be a wind event. Could see more 105 mile an hour wind gusts with this. Then look out for Arkansas here on May 9th, Thursday. Iowa, Ohio, Wisconsin. So we got a bunch of batches of strong storms. Look down here. Totally inundated with flood and severe storms. Same up here in Michigan. You're in the crosshairs on Thursday, May 9th. And we're still into May 9th here. We're going to go on up to the 10th. So you can see this thing just tracking. Here we are on the 10th. So all these areas, you know, it's going to be severe. The nighttime's not going to cool these storms down. They're going to stay strong. They're going to stay intense. So for May 10th, we're looking at Mississippi and Alabama, north part and parts of Kentucky and Tennessee there. Not really Kentucky, but Tennessee for sure. Just flooding rains for everybody else. So it's going to track right on over into Georgia on Friday, May 10th. And it never stops. Up in Boston, you're going to be getting hit here on May 10th. Down here in Texas, the new system starts up. And it's going to track even farther south. We're looking right there at Texas and Louisiana. And look, here's the high pressure system. You know what that means. They're going to be aerosols being deployed everywhere. And it's going to track right on over to Mississippi. And hopefully that one will weaken down. We'll see. Oh, in the meantime, we got more flooding rains up in the north. Here we are on the Saturday, May 11th. Look at that right there at the Gulf Coast area. Severe storms, heavy rains, super heavy downpours. I mean, it's in the super dark greens along with the yellow. So it's going to be raining for quite a few hours, about 12 to 18 hours down there. Another system hitting Minnesota, Wisconsin. And that's going to track on over. Look, here's a little, don't let these little dots fool you right here. Colorado, New Mexico here on May 12th. Them things could be a lot worse than what they look like on here. More flooding rain for Louisiana on the 12th. Way up there in the north, heavy rain. There's still going to be snow up here. Here on the 12th. Let's track this on out. Here's May 13th. And look at this on 13th. This is going to be a another severe weather outbreak for Texas. This thing could pop off before Texas and get into New Mexico. We'll just have to see. We're also going to check the Canadian models once we get all the way through this. More severe storms for the middle part of Texas on the Monday, the May 13th. And look, it's just going to keep on staying around. Now, here's the wicked day. This is Tuesday, May 14th. Louisiana, Texas. I mean, this is off the charts almost rain amounts. So, mega flooding for the southern states. Actually, you could cut the United States right in half. To the right side, all rain. Flooding rains. You think we got a lot of flood warnings now? We got a lot more coming. And look at this. We almost have a blizzard event right up here on the 14th, Tuesday. If you're up in Toronto, Canada, up in here, parts of, is that up there, Maine? I can't hardly tell there, but man, look at the pressure, 998. You got snow all in there, high winds, and it's still flooding the south out. Let's go on up. Here's Monday. Here's Wednesday, May 15th. Bermuda, you're going to be getting a bunch of rain for days. So they're going to flood out Bermuda. Just heavy rains everywhere over on the west coast, down in Florida, central, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa. Here we are on Thursday, May 16th. Look at the snow over here in California on May 16th. We got snow May 16th. This is going to be a wind event. Look how tight the bars are. It's going to be a blizzard up in the mountains. All right, let's get up here to May 17th. Heavy rains for Idaho. And, yeah, that's going to track on up a little bit more. Look, we're going to have even severe storms up in Montana, Wyoming. And then here on the 19th, the whole northern part. So we're just going to keep on scrolling. Another severe weather outbreak on May 21st for Nebraska. It's going to stay in that area for like 12 hours. This is a wind event too. Pretty good winds with this. And that's far as we can go. So hopefully you guys wrote down the crucial days for your area. And we'll just watch this weather plan play out. Okay, let me get over here. Let's check the Canadian model real quick. Now, the only thing that would change any of these models is the weather engineering programs. Otherwise, it stays dead on, and that's what we do. We check both these models, and then we watch the weather modification programs as they go. And we've been dead on since we started this, 16 days out. So you have 2 weeks to prepare for these severe weather outbreaks in your neighborhood. I'm just trying to get this to load, and we'll look at the crucial dates here for the Canadian models. So here is Tuesday, May 7th for Missouri, Iowa, Illinois. And then here we are on that Wednesday, May 8th for some super severe tornado outbreak, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa. I mean, they're showing this with mega winds, you know, severe weather, southern Missouri, Oklahoma on Wednesday, May 8th. Still, here we are on the 9th, man. They're showing a much bigger, longer line of severe weather going all the way from Texas all the way up into Illinois. And then you're going to get Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi. And this one's showing a pretty good wind event up there too here on the 10th. So here's the next brutal storm. There in Texas, Louisiana again, parts of Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky. So this one's showing a little more severe weather for the Tennessee and Kentucky area. But pretty much, it's pretty damn close. It's all showing tons of severe weather down south. Now, this one don't go up the full 16 days, but it's going to get us up to the 15th. So here's some severe weather May 14th, right there for the Carolinas. Yeah, going on up, man. That's pretty severe there. Low pressure 995. So the American model had this more up high. This is like a blizzard here, or a hurricane going into Boston area here on May 15th. Heads up for Boston if this one comes true here on the 15th. So also Bermuda, you're in the crosshair of the storm too. All right, let's go ahead and check the total amounts of precipitation over the 16 days. We're just going to crank this thing all the way up. So right here on the Canadian model, here's the targets. You got some pretty high amounts there for Oklahoma, a couple areas of Oklahoma. It's not showing as much for Texas this time, but it's showing the target is Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana, and then up there by Boston. Let's go ahead and change this to the GFS model. It's pretty accurate. So now the GFS model, we crank this baby up. It's showing, you know, feet of rain down here for Texas, Louisiana. You're getting up there into the 16, close to 20 inches of rain over the next 16 days. That's like 16 inches of rain. We've already had tons of rain here in Missouri, Kansas. You're getting pretty heavy amounts. Look at the mountains of California up here in Idaho. So everybody's getting blasted pretty much on this round of the 16-day forecast. Now I want to check a couple other things, just why we're here. Just want to check these temperature anomalies. I haven't checked this in a while. So we want to see what's going on with this. Yeah, the screen looks a little blurry. It may just have to load a little bit. I'm all in the green though. Everything is just fine. So yeah, live sometimes it runs a little blurry. You could jump over to DLIVE. It's a lot clearer over there. And I'm also trying to probably stream to too many places. So I just wanted to see some of these cold air masses coming down. Because normal storms, when you have the cold air and the hot air, that's what makes the severe storms. But when you look at it like this, it's showing a cold front down here where we're having severe thunderstorms right now. So this map doesn't even make sense. So there's actually cold air up at the 850. So about 4,000 foot up in the air, you got super cold air. So these are not, this isn't lining up with the storms that we're having right now. That's one reason I wanted to look at that. All right, I think we're done with this thing. So let's go ahead and let this thing loop all the way through. And you can see here's the heating of the day. So it stayed hot for a long time, but the same heating didn't occur up here. And we have using the cell phone towers. They're using the ionospheric heaters. They're using the cloud ionizers, the ground-based water generators. You name it, they're probably using it. All right, so we got that one. Let me go ahead and I can't remember what I got loaded here. Okay, I got that one. Already got that one. So what I did want to do with this one, though, is I wanted to go and check out these ship tracks. And we get a good beat on where they're at again. So they're straight out off of California. So we should be able to pick them up with that. You know, it's never a good thing when we see these ship tracks. We only see them before hurricanes. We see them before big fires like the Paradise Fire. And we see them before big outbreaks, big tornado outbreaks, big wind outbreaks, stuff like that. Now I'm going to put this on the micro physics and get this thing to load up. And I haven't been able to watch the chat, guys. Hope everything's going good out there, guys. I'm just trying to stay concentrated on this and try to spot all the madness going on, because there's definitely a bunch of madness. We got to take this a second to load here. Want to welcome everybody that is watching this over on the DLIVE and Facebook Live and Twitter, or not Twitter, but Twitch, and everybody that is tuning in with us tonight. Nice crowds pretty much everywhere, so good thing everybody's trying to find out. Look, I can see the ship tracks right now. So this shipping operation's been going on all month, and just the last few days of the month before. So, you know, we've seen the crazy anomalies out here about 3 days ago, and then we've been following the ship tracks the whole way. So the sky is definitely loaded. They are right there. That's a big operation. Huge operation. They're in the yellow. Let me see if I can highlight that with this here, then I'll point it out a little better. Yes, that's too bright because they're right there. So you see the straight lines. These are not the aircraft. These are not the chemtrails from the planes. These are the actual ship tracks. They're not fishing vessels. These are weather engineering programs going on out here. And what's crazy, it's the only spot on the planet. Like I said, it always happens before bad things. So anyway, I think we are done with that. And let me go ahead and take off the watches and warnings so we can get a better look at the next rads. We just want to see what kind of manipulation is going on with the next rads, because they tell a story. You know, these are the ground-based radars that use the electromagnetics to steer the atmospheric rivers, to steer the storms. And, you know, when they crank these up, that usually slows them down or takes the rain out. When they got them down pretty at a low buzz, they're wanting that moisture to come through. Yeah, you can just see that one down there in Springfield, Missouri is pulsing. Definitely have the water generations going off. I even see a new one over here in Texas. So they're definitely using this one to pump in the moisture. That one really cranked up. Turn them down a little bit. Look, they turned them way down to get the storms to fire up. Watch when they go past. I bet they turn them up. They definitely turn them up. You know, your local sock puppet meteorologist will tell you this is from the sun. No, they have off and on switches. They have all kinds of controls. It's just not the National Weather Service that is in these NEXRAD stations. You have military contractors in there. You got contractors. There's a whole slew of people in these little, National Weather Service NEXRADs that you see. Pull up in a parking lot. There's a lot of people there. So anyway, guys, so I just looked there. I didn't see no crazy, other than a few beams being shot off and some chaff and some flashes. Not really worth getting in a whole lot right here. Let's go ahead and jump into a couple other things. Let's go ahead and check the mimic map. So we no longer have no active storms. We don't have any kind of man-made hurricanes yet, man-made cyclones or typhoons. They're all at bay right now. So let's go ahead and check the mimic. And like I said, this atmospheric river should be curving right up into the Aleutian Islands, about where it's going. But that's fixing to change because of the ship tracks. Them ship tracks have something big to do with this atmospheric river. You can kind of see a dry area around the west coast. That's going to change. Still pulling the atmospheric river right up through the Gulf of Mexico. We know all the aerosols are coming in right here through the Bajas, through Mexico. Really watching down here, want to see what's going on, just because we know we have research companies there that steer this. We got them right over here. And we got them definitely right there, up in Japan. All right, I got that documented good. We're done with that. Haven't checked the Earth now in a couple days. Let's go ahead and check that. All right, we're going to go ahead and start out with the polar vortex winds. Really, by now, there shouldn't be any winds like this up into the north here. They should all be down here, just like it was in wintertime. And look, this thing has just been on a dime ever since it got down here. It didn't split into different vortexes. It's just running perfectly circular like a polar vortex should. Now, when you get up here where all the populations are, where all the ionospheric heaters are, this is where they do the manipulation. Let's go ahead and check the temperatures up here. And we have some rapid heating events over here in the Atlantic, over here up above the UK. So there's definitely some heating events going on. A little bit of a compression events there. And let's go ahead and check the ocean wave heights. Let's see if we got any kind of monster waves coming in. Look at all these monster wave anomalies. So let's see where that one's headed. That's some big waves there. See if it's headed up towards New Zealand. Nope, it's actually going the opposite way. And, oh, we got some big waves. Looks like they're headed for Spain and Portugal. Let's take this up another day. Or we got to back up just a little bit just so I can check this. We were able to give out a warning for Spain for 40-foot waves, and they hit right at 44-foot waves. So, yeah, these are going to be some pretty good waves coming in. 30-footers, not too bad. All right, let's get this back on now. while we're over here on the ocean, let's see if they started creating the El Nino yet. This is the sea surface temperatures, and it's actually looking pretty quiet. Let's go ahead and check the anomalies. No El Nino. You know, the mainstream was really pushing this El Nino, and when you compare this to 2016, that was the last weak El Nino. Now you see all the hot water all the way down around the west coast, super hot water. You know, quite a few anomalies. It's actually worse than this a couple of weeks ago if you go by the 2016. Now the only problem with not having an El Nino year out here is that means that the hurricane season's going to be much stronger, maybe more hurricanes. I'll have to try to get into the southern oscillation this week, kind of look into that, see what they're calling for. Look at the heat anomalies up here in Alaska around the Aleutian Island chains. What is going on over there? The Fukushima's still drifting out, but that's something pretty high there. Let me just look at that like a month ago, or yeah, let's go back a couple months, just see what that looked like. Yeah, see that heat anomaly come from nowhere. Click that back on now. So I want to see where this heat anomaly popped up. So still going a month ago. So I wonder if there could be some some kind of volcanic stuff going on under the water. So yeah, crazy heat anomaly there, and our shipping lanes are looking pretty crazy there. All right, let me get everything back on now. Yeah, you have to go find you an app for that. All right, so the carbon monoxide down at the surface is really high here on the East Coast, over there by Lake Michigan. Up in Oregon, you got a little funky spot there. All of California is pretty thick. It's pretty thick everywhere. Let's go ahead and go check China and them. Wow, all of these guys are really gone down. They usually have some spots in the black. Let's go ahead and check our carbon dioxide at the surface in the East Coast, man. I'm telling you, the air over here around the East Coast, the upper Northeast, is horrible. Over Lake Michigan, definitely check your local air quality alerts, because that's got to be really bad for you. That's probably the highest on the planet. And it is. You got a little spot there in South Korea, but that's about it. The highest spots on the planet for the carbon dioxide is right there in the upper Northeast. Here's our sulfur dioxide. You know, in normal ship tracks, like the shipping lanes, that's these lines right here, these long brown lines. This is the sulfur dioxide coming off the ships. So what you're looking at with these long straight lines are the shipping lanes. You know, these shipping lanes don't look like nothing of what's going on there in California. They're running patterns. And like I said, they're not fishing vessels. So, all right. Let's go ahead and check the PM 2.5s. So we definitely got a little bit of fracking, maybe some volcanic, stuff seeping out, or fires. Maybe some people's burning some stuff off. Down here in southern Mexico, it's looking pretty bad. Down here in the little islands, is that Easter Island there? I thought that was farther south. Not sure what that, I'm not sure what that island is. So if you're in any of these areas, you need to check your air quality alerts. This is a carcinogen. So not good for you at all. And we'll go ahead and check the auroras. All right, we're all good there. All right, so I got this on the Cirrus later. I can't remember what I was going to do here. I got it on the 200 frames. All right, let's go ahead and see where the mega spraying operations are. So right there in Mexico again, right there in Arizona. I mean, that's a big time when you got them right here in Oklahoma, right in with the storms, all up in the north. So I definitely want to zoom back in because right there is where they have been really concentrating these aerosols. I mean, they're really been hitting this pretty much all spring, all winter. I'm trying to find a good spot. I don't know if this is going to get it. We'll try it. I mean, we need to document this because this shows the actual clouds seeding all these lines. And yeah, super heavy over New Mexico, Arizona. This is almost as bad as the aerosols yesterday. Look at that thick, nasty. All this is fake synthetic clouds. And look, they're starting to get right here. Here's the line of chemtrails. And watch what happens with the storms. They're all exploding right there in the same lines of where the aerosols were being deployed. And they're getting powerful into the night. They're not slowing down. But that's why I think they did not spray out ahead of these storms, is they needed that solar heat coming off the sun, the solar radiation, to heat up the atmosphere to help create these super strong storms. And there you go. And then their clouds seeding them from in behind. So, wow. Big time operation right there. Oh yeah, what was I trying to do here? I forgot what I was doing. Wanted to get take a look at this in the microphysics layer and just see what we have going on here. Look at that, off the charts when these things were popping off. All right, I'm just trying to get this to load on up. And it don't want to load very good right now. Hey, thanks out there, Susan. Hey, thanks there. Much love out there. Thanks out there, Sister Golden Hair. Everybody out there, much love. All right, here we go. Let's try to get this to play through. See, you can see they're hitting these with the microwaves. That's why it's sprinkling. You know, it's off the chart because they're superheating the sky. Now, they could actually be using the ground-based radars, they could be hitting this stuff with the satellites. Yeah, look at that, just completely off the charts. All right, guys, so I think we're going to go ahead and call this a show. I want to thank everybody out there that shares this information. Thanks everybody who posts this stuff on social media. We got to get people awake to this madness that's going on. Anyway, guys, much love out there. We will catch you tomorrow night, God willing. Eyes to the skies and no fear. Anyway, guys, let's rise. We're going to hit the exit screen. I'm going to come join you for a minute. And then we'll catch you tomorrow. Much love out there. Here we go. Crank it up. Maybe. I don't know if it's going to go.